stories you hear, you know.
Yeah.
You know, with the creepy music. And yeah, I guess it's scary, the idea of it, but I think once you kind of know it's there, it just makes sense.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know, it just makes a lot of sense.
Good.
And certainly not something I'd be scared of happening again.
Yeah.
You? Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Steve's encounter with his Uncle George's ghost changed him once again. He overcame his anger and his depression, and he got on with his life. Today, Steve's mission is to let the world know about aphasia. With the help of friends and his own wonderful ability to communicate without words, Steve is a successful motivational non-speaker. Carolyn and Steve's story is unusual for another reason, besides the colorful characters. Their description of Uncle George's ghost is very corporeal. Most ghost stories involve spirits that are nowhere near so physically fleshed out. Chris Simons had a brush with the supernatural that wasn't as emotionally charged, but it was still powerful enough to change his mind about ghosts. Chris had just moved into a new apartment with a new roommate.
We were just, good buds, and really fortunate in finding this house on Brock. We had the 2 upper floors. The second floor had 3 rooms, a bathroom, and a kitchen. And then above that was the attic. That was my roommate's space. One day, during breakfast, told me, just rather matter-of-factly, there's a spirit in my room. And, at this point in time, getting used to her saying bizarre things like that, I was like, oh, yes, pass the croissants. And she would tell me that this was a male spirit. And a male spirit, that's great, butter please. And she would go on, but the one thing that she did say for sure was that this spirit, she wasn't afraid of it. She didn't have any feelings of fear or anything, that this spirit was there to protect her. I just kind of didn't really think much else about it until later. And then one day, her boyfriend came over. I was in my room, and there was about a half hour of silence. And then I heard her boyfriend scream. And there was a lot of commotion going on upstairs, and he came running down the stairs, half-dressed, carrying his clothes, and he just went right out the door. And when my roommate came down, I asked her, what happened? What was that all about? And she said that she was doing some work on her computer, and he was just relaxing on the bed. And he said that he felt a cold hand grab his leg. Knowing her boyfriend, I did not think that he would, entertain those type of things. So when he went running out screaming, that's when I started to think, there's something going on here. My roommate and I talked about it, and she said it definitely was the spirit protecting her from her boyfriend, who turned out to be not a nice person. I can't say that I didn't believe, but I just had no proof. It was one of those things I would like to believe. Like when you were younger, you like to believe that there was a tooth fairy and there was unicorns and things like that. There's no way that you could ever deny or doubt once it actually happens. My roommate was away for the weekend, and I was home alone. I think it was about 2:30 Sunday morning. I woke from my sleep because there was somebody in the room. And with the way I was lying in bed, I could see my room. I could look around, and there was nobody there that I could see, but there was definitely a presence in the room. And then probably about, I would say about a meter away from my head, I heard, which I could only describe as somebody clearing their throat. I didn't know what to do. I was getting very cold, I was petrified. I mean, I really could not move. I just could not move. And I think that the tension that I put myself in physically and mentally was like so much I actually thought that I was going to explode. And just at that moment, say like about this far from my head, focused cold breath accompanied with a male voice that went, "Hey," like right in my ear, as if like somebody was trying to get my attention. I grew up with a friend a long time ago when I was living in Brampton. She used to do ghost chasing. She said when you do encounter a spirit, the only thing that you really can do is communicate, try to talk to them. For lack of any other, ideas, I spoke out loud. I explained that my roommate was not here. She was away for the weekend. She'll be back on Monday. And I said, I'd like to go to sleep now. It seemed like a really long moment. I didn't know if I was waiting for something to happen, and the stairs leading up to the attic were creaking. Not pronounced steps, like actual footsteps, but the stairs were creeping all the way up. The feeling of somebody in the room, the feeling of the presence went away, but in its place, it was a thick feeling of loneliness. I felt really, really, really alone. And like that helpless alone. And that pretty much stayed all through the night. I don't think I fell asleep. It actually did plague my dreams for a while. I started having pretty crazy dreams and nightmares, and which just prolonged that sensation of talking to somebody who wasn't there. My roommate did come back on Monday, and I told her about it. Of course, she was excited. She was giddy about it. And I said, okay, that's fine, you and Casper can hang out, but I'm leaving. So I'm moving. And about a month later, we moved to a new place. We left in such a hurry, we left a lot of the stuff behind, a lot of furniture, a lot of pots and pans and cutlery, and gone, and we went to a new place. And that's it. Never looked back.
Chris and Carolyn's reactions are typical of their generation. They both firmly believe they really did run into entities from the other side, but they see no need to relate it to any organized religion. That attitude represents a significant shift in North American values. 50 years ago, cultural values were different, and those who thought they'd stumbled across the supernatural generally needed validation by religious institutions. For many young people today, the opposite is true. They don't trust institutions, including religion, to tell them what is true or not. Their spirituality is very much their own, outside of any organized religion. They simply believe what they believe.
It's really calming and
Yes.
makes you feel good to kind of even say, I don't know about some sort of things, rather than being, sit down about I believe in this, I don't believe in that. I'm kind of open to a lot of more
Yes.
things than I used to be. And I certainly feel lucky.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I feel really lucky to be able to have experienced that, because, only the people that have experienced it, you can talk about it and joke about it, but
No.
really, it's amazing. having a connection with someone when they're alive is something that's so incredible and invaluable, but having a connection with somebody still after they've passed on is something that
Yes, yeah.
is truly
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
We're all made up of energy. Energy is everlasting. Energy is forever. When we die, that energy goes out into the world. It just goes out there. I do believe in spirits. I do believe in ghosts. I believe in the other world.
Man ships himself home, avoids airfare.
Urban legends.
Streaker's getaway car stolen.
Tales told and retold forever.
One night stand costs man kidney.
But are they real or man-made myths?
Aviator